Hello YouTube, it's your boy Vintage Sterling Finds. We have another viewer requested video. In this one, this is a question I've got quite a few times, is how to fix low eBay sales. Now, I sell watches as most of you guys know, but it really doesn't matter what you sell. So let's get to it. I've sold thousands of watches across in person, multiple different platforms, eBay, Etsy, you name it, I've probably sold watches on there. Today we're talking about business. Now business, went to university quite a number of years, so let's get into it. Now the economy, depending where you are in the world, a lot of people agree, disagree, but most people I talk to in day-to-day world say the economy is quite bad right now. I have a lot of friends that thrift, buy, sell. I see a lot of you guys in thrift stores, we chat, and this is the number one question I get asked. A lot of you guys email me and say like, hey, why aren't my things selling? So I think too that first thing I want to talk about is let's just get a product and we'll talk. Here we have my workstation. I'm sorry, it's a little bit messy. The last video's watches are still here. But I want to talk to you guys about the sell-through rate. Now sell-through rate is the amount sold versus divided by the amount listed. You always want to try to find an item with a higher sell-through rate. That just means that the item is selling better within the 3 months. So here we have a product. This is a Garmin Forerunner 35. It does work. I haven't charged this in a couple weeks. The battery's dead. Now, if we look, right now there's 130 listed. If we go through the sold, there's actually 150 of these sold. So that means the sell-through rate is 1.11 or 111%. So that means in 3 months, more that get sold than listed, which is pretty rare. Most of the time, the watches I buy have like a 20% sell-through rate. So there'll be like 100 listed and maybe 20 sold. Now, I listed this maybe a month ago and it hasn't sold. Now, part of the reason I think it has not sold, is when I put my price, most of them were selling for around 120. Now, most of them are selling for about 100. So I should really come back and lower my price on this. That's what I found. A lot of people never lower their price. I like to come back after 4 months and lower them. Another thing too is on eBay you have two options. You can put it for a buy it now or an auction. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I've never liked auctions to sell. If I'm a buyer, buy at auctions. You can see repeatedly the items over time are almost always cheaper at an auction than a buy it now. A lot of people, they're used to Amazon, just click, order. So they don't want to sit there. A lot of people have work, family, everything, hobbies. They don't want to sit at an eBay auction and, oh bid, oh bid, oh bid. So that's why a lot of people just want to click, buy it now. So if you look at this Garmin, we'll use this for example. This is what happened. I'll get over here. You can see that, and I looked, there's quite a few examples of this for a Garmin Forerunner 35. Auction was getting about half the price of a buy it now. So if you do auction, you're leaving money on the table, in my opinion. Also, with auctions, you run the risk of buyers not paying. With a buy it now, it does happen. Buyer doesn't pay, I can just relist it. With an auction, generally you have to then redo the auction, which can be a little risky because the buyers will get an email, but a lot of buyers don't want to bid. They think there's an issue with the item. So that's why I've been burned a couple times on auctions when I was the seller. I started out eBay, I thought, oh, it's going to be fun, let's do auctions, and I'll get rid of the item fast, make my money quick. But what just turned out happening is, for the prices that I sold a couple items for, that it just wasn't worth it. So, don't do auctions. Another issue I see a lot, in my opinion, is not enough photos. In terms of, for a watch or any item, you really want to have minimum 8 to 10 photos, in my opinion. Show the front, the sides, a close-up of the front, the strap, show measurements, how big it's going to be, right? It doesn't matter if it's a t-shirt, watch, hoodie. A lot of guys, including people I know, show 1 or 2 photos. Like, this is the front, this is the back. And that really, if you go really close, is this a ladies or a men's watch? I don't know. Right? It can be really deceiving. Look at that big watch. But then when I show it, it's a ladies watch, right? So that's why I always like to show a quarter. Then no matter how close I get, you always know the size of the item. If I'm here, right, you guys know. So that's why I always like to give, caliper, ruler, if it's a shirt, meter stick, just to help show the size of the item. Also from here, item looks mint. When you get close, you can see, there's scratches, wear, tear, dirt. That's why, too, a good close-up photo, and that gives buyers confidence. Last issue that could be affecting sales are just buying random stuff. I mean, if the last thing you should be doing is if you're in a thrift store saying, oh, I took the time I came, regardless if I like the item or not, I'm just going to buy it. I know people that do this. I have friends, at the thrift store that just buy random stuff for the sake of buying it. And, then you have to try to sell it, and a lot of the time you're just throwing money away. It's just not worth it. Then, if you're ever not sure about an item, Google Lens it. That way then you can helpfully pull it up, find sold. I always look at the sold price, not the listed. Then, if there's been watches and items throughout the years I cannot find online, which then if you can't find the item, it means very few people are looking for it. It means it's probably going to be a hard sell and probably going to linger. There are exceptions, but general rule. Which means if I can't find the item, I generally don't buy it. The exception is if it's a really, really well-made item and it's dirt cheap, I'll buy it. Let me show you guys an example. I was at the thrift store one day. Expensive thrift store. I was chilling, gonna meet some friends after. And I always look at the wallets. And as you can see, here's a really, really, really boring looking wallet. Am I right? Just a really boring wallet. Sorry. Now I'm sure most of you guys are thinking, wow, that's really boring. But me being a watch guy, I see that. And I thought, what the heck? 'Cause Rolex. And I thought to myself, well, that can't be. Paper's still in here, mint condition. So I opened it up, and there we go. Now, I could not find this online when I was at the thrift store, but this was $3.99, $3.99. So, I bought it. Later when I got home, I found a comparable, but still, I took a gamble, and I haven't sold it yet, but I'm sure that gamble paid off. If you buy the right product, make sure the product sells, both sell-through rate and listed, put it as a buy it now, good photos, and just really play it safe. And if you do all those things, generally the item will sell within time. That, on eBay I have, I think like 760 items listed, give or take. On Etsy, I think about 700. And generally, each one I might sell 1 or 2 a day. That's kind of the name of the game. You have to have a lot listed. And, generally luxury items are going to take a little bit of time to sell. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. So, I hope you liked the video. Thank you. Any more reviewer requests, put them in the description. And, sometimes I tried to cover everything. I'm sure I probably missed some stuff, but thanks. See you on the next one.